Welcome back to the Meniere's Muse podcast. My name's Heather Davies, and I'm your host. And if this is your first time, welcome. I hope you find what you're looking for. Today's Vestibular Minute episode is one that is close to my heart. I'm going to share something I originally wrote back in 2018 during one of the early stages of my illness. I was still reeling from misdiagnosis, navigating the new and unpredictable world of dizziness, vertigo, hyperacusis, and migraine. And yet, through it all, one thing was steady, the love of my husband. As we celebrate another anniversary this past weekend, I thought I would share this essay. It reflects the moment in time, the shock, the exhaustion, and the surprising places where I was able to find peace. But it's more than a love letter. Today's episode is for anyone who feels alone in their chronic illness. I see you. I've been you. And I want to talk about where we find support even if it's not right at home. Here is the essay. When I spoke those words in sickness and health, we both thought this would be in our last season of life, when we would become dependent on each other. Then it happened, days of not feeling right, which we tried to ignore because we just knew it would pass, only to be forced to seek medical attention, then a misdiagnosis that steered us the wrong way in all the unknowns. Our work and our social life placed on hold, then misdiagnosis, mistreatment by medical professionals, the betrayal of my body, the loneliness, and unrelenting emotional roller coaster. One thing remained constant: your love. You've always put me first, even before I entered my dizzy world. I can't imagine how I would have made it without you. You told me once you could never be a nurse, but you are and continue to be one of the most compassionate and thoughtful of nurses. Not only do you care for me when I'm having a flare, you feed my soul by doing little things that mean so much. Early in my illness, I remember sitting on the shower floor, too weak to stand. As the water gently fell over me, I cried quietly to myself when I heard the soft music of the movie Elf theme song from the other room. At first, I thought I was hearing things. I took a deep breath and smiled. It changed my mood almost instantly, and you knew this. You may not understand how this silly movie can shift me into a place of peace and calm, but you acted anyway. You would prepare meals for me before leaving for work. You never questioned my crazy symptoms, even when I began to question myself. You still remind me to rest when I'm having a good day and maybe pushing it a little too far. I never thought that line in our vows would mean so much so early on. Thank you for all you do. I love you, honey, always and forever, in sickness and health. When I first wrote those words, I was in survival mode. I couldn't see beyond the next day. But now, years later, I see how this illness hasn't just shaped me, it's shaped our whole family, including our now 11-year-old daughter. She's grown up in this world of unpredictability, and somehow she can sense my discomfort or an episode coming on before I say a word. She's kind, empathetic, and incredibly in tune to her own body and emotions. Watching her step into that gift, offering support before it's even spoken, moves me deeply. I know hearing stories like mine can feel bittersweet, because maybe you don't have a partner who gets it. Maybe your loved one doubts your symptoms, or maybe you've had to walk this journey largely on your own. I want to say this as gently as possible. Your pain is still valid, and support is possible. It just may look different than what you imagine. Now, I'd like to introduce you to a couple of my friends and fellow Vita ambassadors. Here's my friend and fellow Vita ambassador, Holly, to share more about support groups.
Thanks, Heather. Hi, everyone. I'm Holly Smith, and I am a Vita ambassador and support group leader. I have superior semicircular canal dehiscence, vestibular migraine, and Meniere's disease. I'm a medically retired elementary teacher, and I'm excited to talk to you all about Vita support groups. I am the co-host for Vita Retired, along with my friends Mary and Michelle. Vita Retired is a support group for people who have had to medically retire and have had vestibular disorders for a long time, whether they're 25 years old or 85, and everywhere in between. In addition to our group, There are many support groups, some of which meet weekly, while others meet monthly. Some examples include Living Solo with a Vestibular Disorder, hosted by Karen and Cheryl. Creativity in Vestibular Recovery, hosted by Rachel. Working with a Vestibular Disorder, hosted by Andrea. Wobbly, Dizzy, and Deaf, hosted by Lynn and Darcy. Meniere's Disease Support Group, hosted by Angela, Lincoln, Rachel, and Judy. Finding Joy in Your Vestibular Journey, hosted by Joy, Marissa, and Dave. To find a support group that's right for you, please visit vestibular.org. The full links will be in the show notes. Support groups are a safe place to truly feel seen and heard by people who truly get it. Thanks for having me on your podcast, Heather.
You are so welcome, Holly. Thank you, and for all the leaders of the support groups for everything that you do. Now, I'll leave a link to Vita's in-person and online support groups in the show notes. Keep trying them until you find your perfect fit. Many of the online support groups you don't have to show your face or even speak right away. You can pop on and hear what others are sharing, and see if that culture fits for you. And just keep moving on until you feel comfortable in a group. And there are also patient-led spaces all over Facebook and Instagram. One of my favorites is the private group Mummy Seeing Double with Laura Bishop. It's actually a group that gave me the strength to begin sharing about my struggles. I go back to the group occasionally today, and I don't even recognize myself in my old posts. I remember the pain and fear, but not the person I'm looking at in the video, which was me, but it's just, I was a different person back then. Here is a little from Laura about her wonderful group.
Hi, my name's Lara. I run a private support group called Mummy Seeing Double Support over on Facebook. I started my vestibular support group back in 2017, and it was after I realised just how isolating and alone and misunderstood vestibular disorders can be. Living with such a debilitating condition takes a big toll on not just the body, but on our mind as well. And I knew there had to be others like myself that were feeling really lost and frustrated and alone, as I once did many, many years ago when I was really suffering. And there were no groups like this when I was suffering sort of 13, 14 years ago. So I created this group to be a safe, no judgment space where people can come together and share their experiences and find comfort in being truly understood. We offer mental support and alongside practical advice and emotional encouragement, because we know that healing isn't just physical, it's very much emotional too. My hope has always been that this group would inspire others and offer them the same sense of hope and community that I longed for in the beginning of my journey. It's a place where empathy is at the core and where no one has to face their battle alone. So you can find, as I say, the group on Facebook. It's a private Facebook group, and we would very much welcome anyone to join.
Thank you, Laura. I'll leave the link to the Mummy Seeing Double Facebook private group in the show notes. Thank you for all you do for this community. Along with these groups, there's therapy and chronic illness coaches. Many are vestibular patients themselves that devote their energy to solely helping vestibular patients navigate this unpredictable world. If you hang out on Instagram long enough, or just for a few days, you'll figure out who those coaches are. Scroll their feed, see if you're comfortable with them, with their energy, and what they provide to the community. Reach out to them via DM and see how you feel. Then, of course, there's faith communities, our church families, our spiritual leaders. If you're part of a faith community, this can be an incredible source of strength. It's okay to reach out to your church, temple, or spiritual group and simply say, I'm struggling. Ask to be added to the prayer list, meet with your pastor or counselors, or find a small group that can help you through this. You might find a deeper kind of friendship where shared beliefs can lead to shared burdens and, of course, blessings. One of the first books that helped me break out of the wanting to control the symptoms and all the things in my life, especially the ones I didn't understand I had no control over, was Gabby Bernstein's book, The Universe Has Your Back. In that book, I chose to surrender to this world and try to understand things instead of control them. Or maybe you found that one safe friend who can hold space for you, even if they don't fully get it. It's hard when your symptoms are invisible, when your pain doesn't look real. The people in your life that take time to research your diagnosis or symptoms and have valid questions, those are the ones that are going deeper than surface level. Stick with them. They may not understand fully, but typically those are the people you want to understand and to support you. Sorry, I hear a puppy on another campsite. You could even write what I wish you knew letters, whether you send them or give them to people. That's completely up to you. Use metaphors to explain what you're going through. I heard Laura Bishop use one once. It's like she describes her symptoms as, it's like I'm on the moon, sitting on a roller coaster, which suddenly changes into a spinning teacup ride, then back to a roller coaster, then back to a teacup ride. I've used the one where like the floor feels like mattresses and the world is in a snow globe someone's been shaking. There are so many different ways. I've also heard like gravity is confused and pulling you sideways, or your brain's in a washing machine. Figure out the best way that describes what you're going through. Now, that dizzy girl, Christine, quotes, she describes hers as being on a people mover when you're on solid ground. Sometimes it feels like the room just keeps spinning like a CD remix, you know? That was her first symptom. Hers has never been vertigo, room spinning type of vertigo. And the last thing I can advise is ask for support. Can you text me later, or would you sit with me for 5 minutes? Or my favorite, do you have 8 minutes? I have an entire episode, 8-minute episode, sharing this concept, and it's still something I live by today. If you're interested in this concept, it's Season 3, Episode 52. The link will be below. Another bestie of mine had family members that simply didn't understand until she sat them down and asked them to watch a couple episodes of Vita's Life Rebalance Chronicles. I'll leave a link below, where real patients share real journeys. In tears, the family sat, listened, hearing the symptoms my vestie had spoken to them about, but they just didn't understand. And it wasn't until they heard from complete strangers, other patients, did they understand the seriousness and the depth of the symptoms in which she was experiencing. They began to be more compassionate and less judgy. So these are all tools that you can use to get people to understand a little bit better. Be certain to reinforce good support with gratitude. That really helped me. Thank you. Some people may never fully understand, but others might surprise you if given the tools, the time, and a chance. Living with chronic illness as a parent is one of the hardest roles. We worry constantly and how it affects our children. But my daughter has shown me something else entirely. She's learning to name her emotions. She's learning compassion by living it. She senses my needs before I even have to speak them. She helps without asking. I wouldn't have chosen this life for her, but I do believe she's becoming someone incredibly grounded and empathetic because of it. When I first wrote that essay in 2018, I didn't know how long this season of my life would last. I just knew that my world changed, and somehow love remained steady. And while not everyone has a partner or family member who understands and shows up in ways we hope, some of us do. Some of us have someone who keeps showing up, who doesn't need us to explain, who doesn't try to fix us. They just love us as we are. To those people, the ones who stand by us in the silence, in sickness and in strength, thank you. You are the quiet heroes in so many of our stories. Whether you have a partner beside you or not, whether your family shows up or stays silent, you are worthy of care, You're worthy of support. Maybe today, support comes from the form of a kind word from a stranger, a shared story in a podcast, a journal entry, or a whispered prayer. In sickness and health, maybe the vow instead about marriage, but a promise we need to offer and receive in the community, in friendship and love. And maybe, just maybe, it starts with us saying, I see you, I believe you, and I'm here. If you're listening and this isn't your story, if support has been hard to come by, I want you to know your pain is no less real. You are seen and heard here. If you have someone in your life who supports you, let them know. You are that someone. Thank you for the way you love, and always and forever. Thanks for spending this time with me for this episode of Vestibular Minutes. You can always reach me on social media or through the podcast. We are all in this together. Lastly, what topics or questions do you have or have you been struggling with? Please leave me a comment below or reach out to me. I'll find all the ways to connect with me in the show notes. It's so important we have each other. It's important to help each other through life's challenges. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Vestibular Minutes. Thank you for being here. Share this episode with someone who may need to hear it. And if you know someone with an inspiring story, please connect with me. If you would like to know more about vestibular disorders, please visit the VITA website at www.vestibular.org and make vestibular visible. Also remember to love and be gentle with yourself. Lean on this beautiful community, and remember, living a beautiful life with these symptoms is possible.